this actually? In which state? This is the.
It's in the capital of the state, the country. So the state is called District of Columbia.
Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a state really, it's a district. We don't have a state status yet. We're fighting for it.
So, well, I spent maybe a few years, but in Canada, yeah. But several times I went to state also. So it is what I went to. Well, what I know the capital, yeah, the Washington D.C. and other New York. But so we go to the southern part or to Howard to your place.
The place
how far? Yeah.
How far from where?
So what I know, either in the southern part or in the well, like the capital from Washington.
Yeah, it's Washington. The university is in the middle.
Oh, in the middle.
At the center. At the center. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is the really in the center of US. Yeah, in the government.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can come back someday with this situation. It just
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
So we will start like at 9.
Yes, we'll start with 9, and then yeah, they are. Have you seen the the posters of this presentation?
The poster?
Yes.
The agenda, you mean? Yes.
Yeah. Did Sinta share the poster to them? Yeah, to the speakers. Yes. Oh yeah. So it is this is the same time, and then we'll start, and later on maybe we can share the rundown. Maybe we can check with the rundown. Cipta, can you share the rundown? So Prof. Sylvia will know. Yeah. So ini the group, yeah. Okay.
Okay, maybe I will share.
Just share for time being. While we.
Share the rundown.
Cinta. The rundown. Sarah is also coming, yeah. Good morning, Sarah. Good evening, Sarah.
Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good evening.
Good evening, yeah.
Good evening. Okay, this is the agenda for today.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Okay, so at first Sarah, and then continue with Sylvia. Yes, and yeah, it's a 25 minute, yeah. And then the third is from Aminef, yeah, about scholarship. Then we will have the question and answer, yeah. There will be a panelist from University of Indonesia, yeah. Maybe if there is also from one of the industry. So this is the agenda. Okay, thank you, Cipta.
Thank you.
Okay, I will stop the video and I will be back at 9. Okay.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Sarah, will you try your share screen? Test first. Sarah? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's loading. Okay, good. Yeah. That's good. So we see your yeah, perfectly. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, while waiting, can you show some video? So we are waiting, yeah, a couple of minutes. Halo, Mas.
Untuk menyimpan. Hai Sobat Iptek, tahu kan kalau dunia akan terus berkembang dan berinovasi? Contohnya kendaraan kita yang kini masih menggunakan bensin yang akan habis, sehingga akan berkembang menjadi kendaraan listrik yang bersumber energi terbarukan listrik agar lebih efisien, mengurangi efek rumah kaca, bahkan emisi karbon sebanyak 43% dibanding mobil biasa. Hebat kan? Semua ada berkat komponen utamanya untuk menyimpan energi, yaitu baterai lithium. Baterai lithium adalah baterai dengan energi besar dan bobot yang ringan. Dibanding baterai biasanya, baterai lithium dapat dicas sehingga banyak dipakai di barang elektronik sehari-hari. Ada 3 komponen, anoda, katoda, dan separator. Kandungan tertingginya di katoda yaitu nikel, mangan, dan kobalt. Tapi nikel lah yang bisa menyimpan energi terbanyak sehingga jadi unsur utama pada baterai lithium dengan rasio terbanyak 80%. Negara kita sangat beruntung karena ternyata Indonesia adalah sumber nikel terbesar di dunia. Harusnya bisa membuat industri dan mengolah material nikel menjadi baterai lithium sendiri. Sayangnya Indonesia belum ada wadah bagi para ahli untuk bersatu dan membuat teknologi yang bisa mewujudkan itu. Maka Menristek menugaskan Ibu Evi untuk memimpin riset mengenai baterai lithium dan materialnya yang dilakukan di Puspiptek. Ibu Evi telah menekuni teknologi dan material nuklir selama 30 tahun. Kini Ibu Evi menjadi Presiden MRSI, INSS juga mendirikan NBRI. Ketiga organisasi ini saling melengkapi dalam riset pembuatan teknologi yang dapat mengolah nikel dan bahan baku lainnya menjadi baterai lithium. MRSI fokus meneliti material seperti nikel dalam pembuatan baterai, NBRI meneliti pembuatan baterai yang efektif, dan INSS fokus mengembangkan teknologi nuklir untuk membaca kerja lithium dalam baterai. Ketiganya, selain bertujuan memajukan penelitian, juga menjadi wadah bagi para ahli di Indonesia untuk terus bekerja sama mengembangkan inovasi teknologi energi di Indonesia. Dengan kayanya sumber daya alam dan kemampuan mengembangkan teknologi sendiri, Indonesia akan menjadi negara yang independen dan inovatif.
I need it. Good morning and good evening for ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NBRI Lecture Series number 4. Now we have a lecture for today. And now, my name is Shinta Widyaningrum and I will be your master of ceremony for today. Before we start, I would love to read some rules that we have on the event. First of all, this event will be held in 2 hours. Please mute yourself during the sessions. Please use a feature of raise hand on the Zoom if you have any questions in discussion session. Link of presence will be provided at the end of the event, and a certificate will be sent to the participants who fill the presence form. Today we have a very amazing speakers, and without further ado, we're going to start with Prof. Evi. She is a founder of National Battery Research Institute, or NBRI, President of the Material Research Society Indonesia, MRS-INA, Senior Researcher Center for Science and Technology for Advanced Materials, National Nuclear Agency of Indonesia. She is graduate from Physik Bandung Institute of Technology, Doctorin der Natuurwissenschaften, or Dr. Vernat, Fachbereich Physik Technische Universität Berlin, or TUB, from Berlin, Germany, graduate from Postdoctoral Department of Physics and Astronomy McMaster University, Hamilton, Canada, and Professor Research Condensed Matter Physics, Indonesia Institute of Science, Jakarta. To Prof. Evi, the time is yours.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen from Indonesia, and good evening, Professor Sylvia and also Sarah. Yes, and all these the panelists for today's lectures. It's been my pleasure for me on behalf of the National Battery Research Institute and also on behalf of the Material Research Society Indonesia, would like to introduce all the great speakers and panelists today. Yes, yeah. Good morning, Mr. Alfian. Also, yes, yeah, he will become our panelist for today. So, good morning, Mr. Firmansa and Mr. Adit. They are also the leader, the director of the program and program director and finance director of the National Battery Research Institute. So, well, for not too long, but I will tell you that this is a great pleasure for NBRI that to have all of you speakers, the great speakers from USA, yeah. So Sarah and also Sylvia and also Mrs. From Aminef that will introduce you not only the recent technology of the graphene, but also about the study, how to study, and maybe the not only study, collaboration. Yes, Sylvia. Yeah, Sylvina. Yeah, collaboration in the future with Howard University. And also today we will have also a speaker from the Aminef that will also tell you how to get the scholarship, Fulbright scholarship for studying in USA. I think that is our agenda. So before that, I would like to share my screen to introduce about what is the NBRI. Okay, yes, that as you see that powering Indonesia battery revolution, that is this is our code, yes, that we follow the Faraday Institution in UK. So today's this you can see we have the speakers, Mrs. Sarah, Mrs. Miftahul, and also Dr. Sylvina. Yeah, the title is not only super graphene. This is I think very important material for the future to improve the property of the lithium-ion battery and study opportunity in USA. This you have seen before. That is my activity. I'm active also as a nuclear researcher at the National Nuclear Energy Agency, but I'm also this happy to be in material and also material scientist, and also nowadays I'm really concerned about renewable energy. That is my activity. The several awards that I received. Well, before that, the National Battery Research Institute established, so we have the consortium of national battery. That is consists of several institution members that where I lead this consortium. And after this, we continue to become the NBRI. As the president of the national of the Material Research Society, normally we held the conference annually, but last year we couldn't run this conference because of the pandemic. So at first we did in Yogyakarta and also in Bali, yeah, and also in 2019 we held the conference in Bogor, yeah, this is we call the International Conference Advanced Material Technology and International Conference Multidisciplinary Research. Yes, the chairman of the conference at the time is the rector of the University of Mustopo. Yeah, so we have the many attendees and more than 10 countries came to the conference, and normally we have the MOU with the several representatives from several institutions, university, or also from industry. Yeah, as you can see, there's from here from Universitas Dian Nusantara, from Ministry of Industry, and we have also the guest from UK at that time from QMO. Yeah. And during that time, also we launched the National Battery Research Institute to gather the stakeholder from university, industry, researcher, and all the stakeholder working on battery, yeah, to make Indonesia independent in energy. So after that conference, one of our colleague here, Prof. Alan Drew from University of Queen Mary University, London, he says sorry, could not attend this lecture because it's different zone. Yes, the time no early night, maybe in UK. Okay, so Prof. Alan came back to my office, and then we apply a Global Challenge Research Fund. And fortunately, our proposal was accepted by the GCRF, and then for establishing the NBRI. Why? Because I asked him that there will be similarity with the Faraday Institution in UK. They have that kind of this consortium of the battery, yeah, that is supported by industry. Okay, so that is the story. Okay, so last year, or during the last year, 1 year, NBRI has done so many activity, yeah, and we established this. We have the legal form of the NBRI as the Foundation Center Excellent Innovation on Battery and Renewable Energy. So the purpose of this to contribute to the overall research capacity and training environment in Indonesia, and also together scientists, industry partner, research, and etc. Because we want to reduce the battery cost, weight, volume, to improve performance and reliability, and to develop the whole life strategy, including recycling and reuse. Yes. So as you have seen before in a previous video, the idea of the this is a concept, yeah, that I made the concept is long time ago, 2014. So we have a platform, and NBRI is like a platform. There is academician, researchers, and all the governments, investor, and the manufacturer, the enterprise. We need to do that, yeah. Otherwise, the research will not go anywhere. Yeah, so we have to ask what is the problem in the industry, and then try to bring it to the platform and it to solve together. So this is the way we work. Yeah. So we have the vision. Yeah, the vision. We want that Indonesia, not only Indonesia, maybe in the other country, to be independent in energy using our local resources. So at the beginning, we met the Minister Research and Technology, and we got approval from him, and then even Prof. Bambang mentioned to us that to involve the national research priority in our activity. So so we will have that also, yeah. No, NBRI also have the one of the PRN, national research priority in energy storage, yeah. So we opened the website, yeah. We launched the website in September. You can open the website, the www.nbri.org. Yes. Next, Mr. Firman will explain about that in detail. Yeah, we have the one NBRI one map. This is important. I think that's to map the research facility. Well, at first in Indonesia, but later on maybe in all over the world. Yes, but so who are doing what, and then and also the highlight of the research, and also the human resources. Yes, that is very important. Otherwise, there will be an overlapping research. Yeah, if we don't map this. And then we have the end user, the industry, yeah, the map of the battery manufacturers, and then also the resources in this map. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of the map. And then also we have the platform that yeah, this topic maybe we come to beyond lithium ion. Yeah, we have also here like Indonesia National Research Priority. Yeah, we cover activity of the PRN and also community, etc. Yeah. So there are some opportunity. We receive also some internship. Yeah, currently there are 3 from different university working with us. Yes, that is for their internship. So we give the opportunity for millennials to work, to study. Yeah. And also, yeah, we provide also training education to industry. The benchmark, the Faraday Institution, the UKBIC, and Silicon Valley. Yeah, this is our benchmark. And then several activity for the last year, only 1 year, 2020, more than 2,000 or 3,000, yes, attendees for the our activity with more than 18 countries. Yeah, this is we have the FGD with the Ministry of Transportation, Ministry of Research Technology, with the enterprise, state enterprise, with the CEO, so to know from the first hand, yeah, the information what's going on. We have also the lecture. Today is the 4th lecture. So we have from Canada talking about lithium. We have from Australia about sodium battery. We have also from the aluminum and silicon nanowire from Singapore. And then today we have from USA. So we will always, you know, giving you a chance to know about the current technology all over the world. Yeah. So we have also giving the opportunity to the millennial also to share, you know, their experience. Yeah. So this is, but first you have to be member of the NBRI. This is our collaboration. So we have the ministers also. This is our dream. Someday we will have this institute. Yes. And then with maybe, yeah, this is our milestone that no, we send this proposal funding to the minister. Okay, before I finish this, we have the registered participant for 2 days. Yes, okay, by occupation, 67% student. Okay, so up to well, we announced this just Friday afternoon. So we have the register by more than 315 participants. It's amazing. Yes. So there are 10% lecturers, 7% from researcher from government institution, 5% from non-researcher, and then the rest is from and also from private. Yeah, they're private and from others. Yeah, so it's amazing. The student really exciting about this. Yeah. You see, well, this I cannot say. Oh, there are some also from school. They want to know about this. Yeah, more than 60 institutions attended this today. Yes, I cannot mention one by one, but this is really a broadcast. Yeah, to all over Indonesia and also from other country. Yeah. Okay, the age, of course, is the student, mostly 64%. This is 18 to 25 years old. And I'm sure they are millennial. Yeah, they have to know, they have to learn, they have to, you know, to have this to make the future better. Yeah. And then, so we have the participant from India this time, from Pakistan, Nigeria, and USA. Wow, yeah. So we have also this never have before, yeah. But it's amazing. Yeah? Sometimes we have from Saudi Arabia, from other European. Okay, the channel. The most effective from we have several social media. Please also subscribe with our social media, yeah, with Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. Okay, so finally, I would like to thank to all the committee, the PIC of this Cipta, and also the team, Sinta, Rizka, and Andika for preparing this today lecture. Thank you and welcome to be member and NBRI, and then welcome to join with us. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prof. Evi, for such an amazing opening introductions about the NBRI. And yes, we are here to gather all the battery stakeholders in Indonesia, not only in Indonesia, but also internationally. Without further ado, now we're gonna go to the next speaker, which is an amazing person, which he is an Muhammad Firmansyah. He was graduated from Bachelor degree on Pajajaran University, Bandung. He is also a program director of National Battery Research Institute or NBRI, President Director of PT Infinity Energy Indonesia, Commissioner of CV Tridaya Kavali, Area Territory Analyst from PT HM Sampurna PLC, Supervisor Area Marketing Multitasking, Supervisor Consumer Engagement, and also Marketing Graduate Trainee from PT HM Sampurna. To Mr. Firmansyah, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Sinta. Okay, good days, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable speaker, the honorable panelists, and all the participants Zoom meeting, conference, and YouTube streaming. My name is Muhammad Firmansyah, and I'm Program Director of NBRI. First of all, I would like to thank you for all the time has given to me to present about NBRI. Okay, NBRI is in Indonesia Independent Institute of Electronic Energy Storage, Research and Skill Development. NBRI aims to contribute to all overall research capacity and training environment in Indonesia in battery research. We bring together scientists and industry partner research projects to reduce a battery cost, weight, and volume to improve performance reliability to develop whole life strategy, including the recycle reuse. Our vision, then NBRI together all the Indonesian stakeholders in a battery research and production to help form strong national battery research and increase the visibility battery research in government level. We are having a special tools which called the NBRI One Map, where you can find about research, user battery, manufacturer, and research facility. You can just one click away to find all the information about battery. Research is a map collect data about the company that product the raw material. And user is a map that show the user of the battery. The manufacturer is a map that show about the manufacturer produce the battery. And facility is a map for collecting data about facility related to the battery research in Indonesia. Okay, and very one map, we have upload the location of each stakeholder in the map. If you want to have your company or institution to be uploaded in our map, please contact us directly. Next, for the NBRI membership, if you want to join our membership, you can register in our website. You can choose a membership as individual, institution, or a corporate membership. By then, you can always have update or related to our next event. For all panelists, speaker, also the audience, the presence of the stakeholder of the battery energy storage, please have a minute to register as a member on a website, since we are coordinating for the Minister Research and Technology together all the stakeholder in of the battery. NBRI website. This website is deliver our vision to have a broad picture on the battery industry ecosystem in Indonesia, ranging from research and user, manufacturer, and also research facility. First, the NBRI platform is plotted on a publication such as a paper, journal related to the energy storage. NBRI also provide link to platform of the member to promote, share their research publication on the website. Research on research panel, there are several main topics related to the lithium-ion battery, instead such as a lithium-ion, beyond lithium, industry concern, battery characterization, Indonesia research community, Indonesia research highlight, and also Indonesia national research priority. All the research topic related to the novelty research project and also the recent issue that being concerned in Indonesia related in the battery. Opportunities panel. Next is opportunity panel, is a panel that will show about the opportunity that will be given by the industry, such as a vocational high school internship, undergraduate internship, job opportunity, and industry fellowship. Education and skill, NBRI has a training program and seminar for vocational and corporate members that want to learn more about the energy storage. NBRI provide the syllabus and lecture, also facility for practice. Therefore, program is not only theory but application too. The training and the seminar are various available for a stage from undergraduate until a PhD and early career research. The original concept of the NBRI was founded by Professor Dr. Evi Kartini in 2014. As shown the diagram, it was launched in 2019 and established in 2020. NBRI Indonesia Independent Institute for Electronical Energy Storage, Science and Technology, supporting research, training, and analysis. It also provides consultation for industry and government institutions related to the energy storage issue. NBRI aim to contribute to the overall research capacity, training environment in Indonesia in battery research. We are bringing together scientists, industrial partner, research project to reduce the battery cost, weight, volume, to improve the performance and reliability, and the development of life strategy, including the recycle and reuse. The NBRI milestone, the ultimate goal of the NBRI within the 5 years is to support the Indonesian battery manufacturer with local resources, starting from its raw material and human resource. It's also correspondent to Indonesia government to establish the biggest integrated center of the battery manufacturer in Indonesia and the world, focusing the electric vehicle. NBRI is aiming to establish a battery university in 2024 and a startup incubator in 2023. This is support the environment, including the human resource and also small enterprise of the battery in Indonesia. Okay. One of the application of the lithium battery is a Powerwall. It's rechargeable lithium battery station energy storage intended to be used for the residential purpose, which can store the electricity from solar panel or a grid power. It's developed by PT Infinity Energy Indonesia. It's a company that manages of the NBRI in terms of the management and administration. PT Infinity Energy Indonesia, it was founded in 2018, is one-stop green and safety energy solution for company in building industry 4.0. Infineon Power, ever from establishment, is committed to provide a safe and green power solution for all our partners. Our value lies to flexibility to customize your own product according to needs, and also we provide the battery module that suit to your needs. Okay, this is Infineon product that are developed by Infineon, cover all segments such as residential, industrial, transportation. One of our greatest invention is the power wall. We also develop a smart solar street light that back up by a solar panel and lithium battery, which is more efficiency and durable to the lead acid battery. We have also developed a portable energy storage to be used in a remote area. Also, we have developed a battery electric motorcycle that can be customized based on the specification. That all that I can share about our website. For further information, thank you and thank you so much for all the opportunities. I will give back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Firmansyah, for such an amazing presentations. And for those who really wants to see who we are, please go and check to the www.n-bri.org. So now we're going to the main event, and I would love to give the floor to Prof. Evi to lead the event. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Piman, first for your amazing introduction about NBRI and Infinity. Okay, so we start. I would like to invite the first speakers. Mrs. Sarah. Okay, Mrs. Sarah. Good morning, Mrs. Mita. Mrs. Sarah. Okay, I can read the yeah. Okay, Mrs. Sarah got the PhD in physics from Howard University in last year. So she's a really fresh graduate. Master of Science in Physics from Clark Atlanta University in 2004, and graduate research renewable energy and battery lab Howard University. Well, this is the lab that therefore we are interesting to collaborate. Yes, from Spelman College Physics Lab Coordinator in Atlanta, and then this is the one of the paper, the effects of chemically and thermally reduced graphene oxide on electronic conductivity on lithium iron phosphate composite. This is a conference of the National Society of Black Physicists Province in 2019. So, Mrs. Sarah, the time now is yours to present your result. Thank you.
Greetings and thank you to the NBRI for having me as a speaker. I appreciate the time, and to all of the panelists and attendees. I'm going to share my screen.
Mrs. Sarah, are you still with us?
Sarah, are you there? Sarah? Your screen has not been shared. I mean, you're working on that. Sarah, can you hear me? Are you lost the connection?
Mrs. Sarah, can you hear us? I think there is some signal problem with Mrs. Sarah. We apologize for that.
Yeah, the next speaker, but Sarah has to stop for the screen. Sarah? Okay. Sarah, are you there? Are you still there? Okay, so while waiting, maybe we'll move to the next the next one while waiting for Mrs. Sarah until her connection back. So we will invite the next speakers, Dr. Silvina. Okay, can I have the CV of? Hi. Good evening, Dr. Silvina.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Okay. So I will read first the CV of Professor Silvina Gatica. So she obtained a PhD of the Physical Science, University of Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1995. She got a professor of Department of Physics and Astronomy, Howard University in 2017. Well, she was the referee of a scientific article for Physical Review B. Well, this is the one of the best of the in physics. I think journal of lower temperature at Langmuir. Now, currently, she is the director of physics graduate program, Howard University. I'm sure she published more than a few hundred publication, but one of this selection absorption of carbon dioxide from mixed vapor by blockage of methane in graphene nanoribbons, published in Applied Science 2020. Professor Silvina, now the time is yours, please.
Okay. So let me share the screen and I hope it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it says that another participant is sharing the screen. I guess is Sarah. Sarah, are you
here? Professor, no, you can share your screen. It was me.
Okay. So you can share your screen now.
Okay. Yeah, I think it should work now. Can you see my screen? Yes? Okay, great. So first of all, thank you all for inviting me to participate in this meeting. I am the director of the graduate program in physics of Howard University. So Howard University is one of the best HBCUs. HBCU means historically Black college and universities that are a few in the United States, are very special schools. This university is a research university and it has about 10,000 students, so it's a big university, and we have 13 schools and colleges. It's located in the capital of the United States. And here you have a map of Washington, so I can give you an idea of where it's exactly. So here is the university. It's in the center of the city. This is the city of Washington, D.C. Okay, so here you can see the White House and the Capitol. So that's the government. So we are like 2 miles from the government. I draw here these yellow dots are 5 other universities in the DC area that together with Howard form the consortium of universities. This is University of Maryland, University of DC, American University, Georgetown University, and George Washington University. So together with Howard, they formed the consortium, and it's a very important group of schools because our students can take classes in other schools of the consortium and vice versa. And also we share the libraries, and there is a lot of collaboration among schools. So that's something that is very positive and useful for students. And here is also, you see NASA. It's one of the biggest laboratories of NASA. It's called Goddard. So it's very nearby. So we have many collaborations with NASA too. So it's the location of the university is really convenient for many, many aspects. And this dot is me now speaking from here. So our department is relatively small. We have master's degrees since 1930s, PhD degrees since the 1960s. We are now 17 permanent faculty full-time. We have postdocs, we have about 20 graduate students, we have about 35 undergraduate students, all students in physics. The chairperson of the department is Dr. Quinton Williams, and he is also the head of the laboratory of batteries. And he was the advisor of Sarah that will speak to you, hopefully,
yes,
later today. So let me tell you a little bit about the degree, since there are so many students in this meeting. So we have a full-time program, master's and PhD. It's in person usually. However, since a year ago, because of the pandemic, we are all teaching remotely. But hopefully in the fall, we're gonna be back in the school, person to person. The tuition for the year is $31,000 US. Let me move to the next slide. So we have master's and PhD degrees. So the master's degrees, you have two options to do the master's. One option is to do a thesis. So you take 24 hours of course work and 6 hours of research, and then you do a thesis. And the other option is that you do a master's non-thesis option. So you only take classes, 30 hours of course work, and then you take an exam, and then you get the master's degrees. So the master's programs are actually included in the PhD program. So they take the same classes as the PhD students, but it's shorter. So the PhD program is a total of 72 credit hours that is done in about 5 years. That includes 12 hours mandatory of dissertation research. That is the thesis, right, that you have to do. And the students have also have to take a qualifying exam to be able to finish the PhD. In Howard, there's also a program that is atmospheric sciences that is not in my department, but is in the university. It's an engineering, actually. The master's in medical physics is coming soon. So we are in the process of accrediting that new program. So as I was saying, for the students in the PhD program, about 2 years since they start, they have to take an exam to enter in candidacy. So the exam is called the qualifying exam. So that happens after the students have completed the core courses that take 2 years to do. They pass the qualifying examination, and they have to have a dissertation topic that has to be approved by a committee that will evaluate that the dissertation topic is okay. So then these are the core courses. So there are 8 classes that the students will take in 2 years, since classical mechanics, electromagnetic theory, quantum mechanics, and statistical mechanics. So after all these 8 courses, the students will move to candidacy and will complete the PhD with the dissertation and they can also, of course, take other classes. Here is just a list of possible elective courses that the students can take. Of course, as I mentioned before, the students can also take classes in the consortium university. So they really have many, many options of areas that they want to cover or study, okay? What else? Well, let me say something about the application process for the students. The deadlines to apply are May 1st for the fall and November 15th for the spring semester. So the fall semester here starts in August, and the spring semester starts in January. The application is very simple. You go to this website here, that is our graduate program website, and you click on apply, and then you are in. So you have to start your application process, okay? So requirements. We require a GPA of 3.0 at least on a 4.0 scale. And we also require that 3.0 is in the physics courses. We really, when we evaluate the applications, we look into the physics courses particularly. That's what really we care about, right? We have some assistantships that require 3.2 GPA. There is a non-refundable application fee, and all the official transcripts have to be submitted directly from the colleges where the students have attended. The GRE scores now are waived because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but usually they are required. We don't know if we're gonna require in the next academic year, but for now they are waived. So the students will have to write a statement of research interest, a biographical sketch, submit a resume, and 3 letters of recommendation. So that's, I think, is very common practice in all these universities. So that's the admission requirements. So for international applicants, we have a little bit more requirements. So we need to have the official transcripts sent directly to the university, and they have to be evaluated by the WES, World Education Services. That is required for every international university. I mean, every university outside of the United States. And then for non-speaking, not English speakers, we require also the TOEFL. So let me say something about the research areas in our department. As you saw, there's a small department that we have a lot of things to do. So for example, we have people working in cosmology and string theory. That's very unusual in a school, but we have 3 professors working on those topics. We have the lab of batteries that you will hear soon about. Quinton Williams is the head. Biophysical medical physics, computational physics, condensed matter theory, condensed matter experimental, laser spectroscopy, nanoscale materials, nuclear and elementary particles, and astrophysics. So now I will tell you a little bit more about some other programs. For example, we have a REU program. REU is a research for undergraduate students. So students come from everywhere in the US to our school in the summer and spend 10 weeks working with us doing research. And that is an opportunity for undergrads, but also for graduate students, because the graduate students are usually involved in mentoring these young students coming. So it's a good opportunity for our graduate students to have these interactions. We have many collaborations. For example, we have a few from NASA, astrophysics, NASA, and also some programs for. We have NSF grants collaborations, and we have a new initiative that is a collaboration with IBM that is forming a quantum coalition with HBCUs. So it's putting HBCUs together to work on quantum computing, all supported by IBM. So we are very excited about this new initiative. So let me I will highlight a few of the labs and the groups. So here is the battery research lab that I guess you are interested in. So the head of the lab is Dr. Quinton Williams, that is also the chair of the department. So they are working hard on, especially interested in decreasing the charging time of lithium ion batteries and the rate capability. I think here is Shara. We have other groups. For example, the group of Dr. Dev. Dr. Dev is a career awardee. Career is a very prestigious award that is given by the National Science Foundation to junior faculty. So she does ab initio calculation, density functional calculation, and especially interested in spintronic. She has a big group of postdocs and graduate students. Here we have our other career awardee, Dr. Thomas Searles. He has a lab, he's an experimentalist, he works on terahertz spectroscopy, and he's interested in next class optical and electrochemical devices. He also has a big group of students and postdocs. Dr. Guchait has also a lab, is interested in experimental condensed matter physics in quantum and magnetic materials. Dr. Misra's lab is spectroscopy, especially particularly Raman spectroscopy. Here we have Dr. Hoops, that is our theorist, a specialist in string theory. And that's me, and I do computer simulations, classical Monte Carlo and molecular dynamics, and I am particularly interested in the problem of separation of and capture of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That is a very much needed and is related to global warming. So with that, I just want to thank you for your attention. And I hope I can see students coming from your country to us. Let me mention that I think 40% of our students are international in our physics department from different countries everywhere, Africa, Saudi Arabia, we have Nigerians. So it's very international, and 50% more or less are women in our department. So I look forward to see all of you applying. And here is my contact information. You can send me an email anytime, and if you have questions about the program. And here is again the website of our program for information and applications. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Katika. So it was amazing. Yeah. So we are like in USA, looking for your looking your lectures. Yeah. I wish I can come back again to state and visit your university. Yeah, because it's
I can
and not far from the capital. Yeah. I mean, that's right. So I hope that Indonesian student who attended this webinar will will try to contact you, and then should be from Indonesia, one of them, coming.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before thank again, Dr. Silvina. So what I want to mention, maybe we will have the collaboration with NBRI. Yes, we're your staff and we're lecture. Okay, the question and answer will be later after the 3 speakers. So now I will invite again Mrs. Sarah. Are you there now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry that to interrupt, but okay, no, it's your time, please.
Greetings again to NBRI for inviting me to give a talk about my research. I actually can share my screen. Okay. I can actually share my screen.
Okay, now you can share your screen, Mrs. Sarah.
Okay, thank you. Hello and greetings. I apologize for the previous technical. Yes, ma'am. Can you see my screen?
No, we haven't seen your screen.
Okay.
This is only the background.
Yes, Sarah, we can help you to share your screen, your presentations, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. You just tell the next slide.
Okay, I'll just tell our next slide.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's better.
Greetings again. My name is Dr. Shirazab, and the title of my talk for today is a study of the effects of chemically and thermally reduced graphene oxide on the conductivity and performance of lithium iron phosphate cathode composites. Next slide. The overview for this talk is the motivation and background. Experimental methods, this includes projects 1 through 3 composites and their battery cells. A discussion about the results and some conclusions that were drawn, as well as future research. Next slide, please. So the motivation and background, we'll start here. The motivation for this research stems from all of our concerns about the environment and the current or the largest form of energy that we're using, which is fossil fuels, most importantly for transportation. We all are hopefully aware that this is a non-renewable energy source and is contributing or has contributed to carbon emissions. And the increasing amounts of carbon emissions have then attributed to global warming, which is now a global issue and why there is a need for alternative fuels or alternative energy sources, and hence why we are now pushing forward for studying and improving renewable energy sources, that being lithium-ion batteries. Next slide, please. So to begin at the beginning, we will just quickly go over some foundational information about battery technology. Batteries can fall under these two main categories, that being of a primary battery, a type being alkaline, an example being zinc manganese dioxide. Now, a primary battery is one that has an active material, but when this active material's constituents are used up, it is no longer available for power and therefore is easily disposable. The second category is that of a secondary battery, a type being rechargeable, an example being lithium ion. In the case of the secondary battery or rechargeable battery, we're talking about, well, yes, we have an active material, but this active material is able to, under reactions, chemical reactions that occur at the cathode, they're able to both release these lithium ions as well as deintercalate these ions back into the composite to reform into the active material, so therefore making it rechargeable. Next slide, please. So here on this slide is a schematic outlining components of a lithium-ion battery cell. It includes the cathode or the active material, as well as an anode, which is typically graphite. It also has electrolyte and a separator film, which helps with the transportation of the lithium ions between the cathode and the anode. It also contains the current collectors, which helps to deal directly with the electrons that are released during dilithiation of the anode, and is what enables to charge, say in the example of this schematic, a cell phone. To your right, you'll see two examples. One of the charging, this is the chemical reaction that's occurring, and in this case, the active material being that of lithium iron phosphate. During deintercalation of the lithium ion, you're left with iron phosphate as this lithium ion is now traveling through the electrolyte and into the anode or the graphite. During discharging, during dilithiation, where the lithium ion is then released from the anode and goes back to the cathode so that it's able to reconstitute and intercalate into the material to now have what we had from the beginning, which is lithium iron phosphate. Next slide, please. So the active material that was used for my graduate research was lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, which is how we'll refer to it. This is a very, very well-researched material. It is part of the polyanion compounds that were produced by the Nobel Prize winner John Goodenough, who we call the father of the rechargeable battery or lithium-ion battery. You'll see that to your left, it has an olivine crystal structure. And to your right, I'm going to outline some advantages of this material. LFP has a practical specific capacity of around 160 milliamp hours per gram. It has a flat operating voltage, a long cycle life, and it is environmentally benign, which we know is very important if we're talking about not only improving the environment using a renewable energy or energy storage device like lithium-ion batteries, but also with the materials that also be environmentally benign as well. A lot of these advantages are directly related to its crystal structure. During the charging, where you have the deintercalation of the lithium ion, you're left with iron phosphate, and iron phosphate and lithium iron phosphate are not that different in terms of their structure, which allows the material to have this flat operating voltage as well as have a long cycle life, because the structures are so similar that there's not a breakdown in terms of the material itself. But one major disadvantage of this material or a problem is its low electronic conductivity, which is about 10 to the minus 9 Siemens per centimeter. And this low electronic conductivity is due to the fact that lithium iron phosphate, due to its olivine structure, only has 1D pathways for the lithium ions to intercalate and deintercalate. So now we're dealing primarily with the kinetics of the system. in looking at the ionic conductivity as well as electronic conductivity. But more importantly, for my research, I focused on the electronic conductivity. So one resolution to this disadvantage was to incorporate reduced graphene oxide, or RGO, into the cathode composite to improve the electronic conductivity. Next slide, please. Reduced graphene oxide. For those that are unaware, if I use the term graphene right now, it would not be that far-fetched. Graphene can be developed under many different processes, chemical vapor deposition, epitaxial growth, and one of the most commonly used methods is the production of graphene oxide and then reducing that graphene oxide to obtain graphene. So what you see to your left is the structure of graphene, where you'll see the honeycomb type structure. But the difference between graphene, pure graphene, I'm using quotes, pure graphene and RGO is the fact that RGO has have these oxygen functional groups attached to its edge, and that's what you see attached to the edges of the honeycomb. So some of the characteristics of RGO is it's a 2D material. It has a higher electronic conductivity than that of the active material, about 10 to the minus 1 to 10 to the 2 or 10 squared Siemens per centimeter. And its dispersibility, which is essential when we are producing the composite materials for the cathode. Next slide, please. So just to take a few moments to outline the project, as I stated, this dissertation research encompassed about 4 different projects, one that being of the preliminary research, which involved LFP and graphene oxide. As you can see from the first bullet, under that preliminary research, the cathode composite consisted of an 8-10-10, which is most commonly used for research purposes, where you have LFP, carbon black, and PVDF, which is polyvinyl difluoride, which is the binder material that binds these materials together to produce your composite. For the preliminary research, I used graphene oxide, and it was added to the composite while reducing carbon black. So here in this preliminary research, which I used to get my dissertation research accepted, was to look at how well graphene oxide behaved in this cathode composite. And using graphene oxide was the simplest way of approaching this problem. One major reason it was used was due to its dispersibility and making it easier to combine with the other constituents of the cathode composite. Project 1 was the ratio was the same as the preliminary research, but in this case, I am now reducing the amount of carbon black in the system while adding chemically reduced graphene oxide. Now, this is being used as a conductive additive to improve the conductivity of the cathode composite. Okay, so for project 2, the ratio remained the same, 8-10-10, but in this case, I'm now adding RGO as an additional conductive additive while reducing LFP. So now we're looking at a different type of problem. We're looking at not only trying to improve the electronic conductivity of the cathode composite, but also reducing the LFP, which is a major financial stronghold on the battery because it makes up 80% of the composite. And then for project 3, I then looked at the same ratio, but then in this case, I'm now dealing with thermally reduced graphene oxide. So, pardon me, in project 2, chemically reduced graphene oxide was being used, and in project 3, thermally reduced graphene oxide was being added while the active material LFP was being reduced. Next slide, please. So the experimental setup is very similar to any other battery composite setup or coin cell battery fabrication lab, where you produce your cathode slurry. That's by combining your constituents to produce a slurry, a composite slurry for your cathode, spreading that out using the Dr. Blade method. And the composites were then dried in a vacuum oven. They were then taken to be both physically characterized, electrically characterized, and electrochemically characterized, okay? And the coin cells were then fabricated in a glove box, right, to reduce the amount of ambient air, moisture, and so forth, so that we will have viable coin cells to then go through various testing procedures using the Arbon battery testing system. Next slide, please. So one of the first characterizations that are done is the scanning electron microscopy, where micrographs are produced. So now in this case, I want to point to the necessity for this and looking at why it's important to have these micrographs. The micrographs help us to see why it's important to have these conductive additives. If you look to your top left, you'll see the spaces between the LFP particles in the composite. And then to the slide to the middle, the center of the slide, you'll see the arrows, red arrows pointing to the graphene that's sitting in between these spaces. So they're helping to produce an electrical network between the LFP particles, which is essential in lithium ion transport. Next slide, please. Another characterization that's done is Raman spectroscopy. We certainly want to see the conductive additive in the system. And one way to do that is to do a Raman spectra on our cathode composites. What it will do is it will provide peaks for not only the active material, but also for the D and G bands, which represent the disorder and the graphitic nature of our reduced graphene oxide. So this was done for all of the composites for the projects that were outlined previously. Next slide, please. So once that was completed, this is now where a 4-point probe was used to determine the conductivity of the different composites. So for your LFP, CB-RGO, what we noticed is that there was sort of a downward trend as we were reducing the amount of carbon black as a conductive additive and increasing the amount of chemically reduced graphene oxide. So there wasn't really an effect to use RGO strictly as a conductive additive. In the middle plot, the conductivity for LFP RGO, we saw an upward trend in terms of the conductivity. So as the LFP was being reduced and the RGO was increasing as part of the cathode composite, there was an increase in the overall conductivity. And for the third plot, this is your farthest right plot, LFP and thermally reduced graphene oxide. We noticed a downward trend in terms of the conductivity. So as we increase the amount of LFP while reducing, as we reduce the LFP and increase the amount of thermally reduced graphene oxide, there wasn't a major change within the overall conductivity of the composite. Next slide, please. So this particular piece is outlined because it wasn't very noticeable in the previous slide, the center slide, the center of that slide, which is the reduction of LFP and the increase of RGO, chemically reduced graphene oxide, as an additional additive. So although we saw an upward trend in terms of the conductivity, what we saw, which was really amazing to us, was that as we increased the amount of chemically reduced graphene oxide to 20%, while having LFP as at 60%, the conductivity increased dramatically compared to the others. So this was really a really interesting plot for us and helped us to identify that we can reduce the amount of active material significantly and still be able to improve upon the electronic conductivity of the composite. Next slide, please. So as we move away from our physical and electrical characterizations, we move to our electrochemical characterizations and now to the battery testing of each composite, an average of each composite. And we look to the discharge capacity that tells us about the electrochemical processes that are occurring within the coin cell battery. Now, what's important to outline here is that these are half cells. These are half cells. These are not full cell batteries. I will say that LFP-GO is a full cell battery, but the coin cells that were used for LFP thermally reduced graphene oxide and LFP chemically reduced graphene oxide were half cells, because I wanted to focus primarily on what was happening in on the cathode side of the cell. So what you'll notice is that you see a typical lithium iron phosphate plot. You'll see the discharge plot is common throughout all of the plots that you see here for discharge capacity. And this is directly related to its two-phase process where you have a flat voltage around 3.45, and then it starts to drop off in terms of its discharge capacity. Pardon me, as it drops down, where it will allow us to obtain the capacity for that. So the what's important here is that what was noticed primarily was the fact that the LFP-GO and the LFP-CB-RGO, they had values that were the energy density or capacity values were good. They were okay, but there wasn't any major differences between those values as we changed from LFP-GO to LFP-CB-RGO. We're now playing around with the conductive additive. But once we start reducing the active material and increasing the amount of conductive additive or the additional additive of thermally and chemically reduced graphene oxide, that's where we start to see an increase in the capacity for those particular coin cell batteries. Next slide, please. So a rate performance was done because one of the major things that we've noticed when it comes to lithium iron phosphate batteries, that even though they have carbon coating and that helps to improve the cycling, that helps to improve the capacity, there is an issue when it comes to rate performance. So when I speak on rate performance, I'm speaking about how fast we want to charge a battery. So we're talking about over 10 hours or over 5 hours or 2 or 1 hour, or even down to 6 minutes. We want to see how well these batteries perform. What we notice about the LFP-GO, the top left and the bottom left, the LFP-GO and the LFP-CB-RGO, as we go to higher and higher C rates, which we mean less time for charging and discharging, these batteries don't perform that well. They tend to fall off once they get past 1 hour of charging and discharging. And as we go further out to 30 minutes and 12 minutes and 6 minutes, the capacity decreases by more than 80%. So there's a definite issue when it comes to trying to move away from the most commonly used conductive additives like carbon black in the system. Now, as we move on to keeping carbon black as a conductive additive and now putting in an additional additive, conductive additive like chemically reduced graphene oxide and thermally reduced graphene oxide while reducing the active material, this is where we see some interesting things. We see that the batteries are able to hold up and maintain more than 50% of their capacity for higher and higher C rates. And this is important, right? We want to make sure that when we're charging a battery, it doesn't take 10 hours, right? Or overnight. People want to charge a battery like you put gas in a car. So therefore, we need to have batteries that are able to perform at these higher C rates. And putting chemically reduced graphene oxide through this research, adding this in as an additional additive while reducing the active material, we're still able to maintain 50% of its capacity as we reach about 10C and 20C. Next slide, please. So continuing with the electrochemical characterizations, we looked at cyclic voltammetry, which helps to help us to identify the kinetics of the system as well as the chemical activity. And what we noticed when it came to the chemical reactivity in the system, we look at the peaks. Okay, so we're looking at these peaks, we're looking at the separation of the peaks. And what we notice and the sharpness of the peaks allow us to understand that the chemical reactivity that's occurring at the cathode is distinctive. It separates it from other coin cell batteries, in this case, in terms of the amount of RGO that we're putting in the system. And in doing so, we noticed that for chemically reduced graphene oxide, that the 20% allowed us to see a significant difference between the peak sharpness as well as the peak separation for our coin cell batteries. Now, for the thermally reduced graphene oxide, the pristine, which is the regular LFP battery, was able to maintain its sharpness and peak distance, and therefore had the better chemical reactivity. But the overall conclusion that can be drawn from here is that the chemically reduced graphene oxide function better in terms of chemical reactivity and kinetics in the cathode composite. Next slide, please. So lastly, we looked at cyclability. We're talking about cycling the batteries for, in the case of LFP-GO, we went out as far as as far as like 60 cycles. And that was the preliminary research. But then once we started the other projects, we moved out to close to 200 cycles. So we're looking at how well the battery holds up its capacity for numerous amounts of cycling, charging and discharging, how well it's able to maintain that capacity. Does it reduce its capacity? Is it a slow decrease in that capacity? This is important to see, because if we want to better understand how well this battery is going to cycle over, say, 1,000 cycles, but it can't get past 50, then we know that there's a major problem. But we noticed that with the LFP RGO, the chemically reduced graphene oxide, as well as the, yes, ma'am.
Sarah?
Yes, ma'am. We noticed that, yes.
Okay, Ms. Arak, you can continue.
Yes, thank you. So we noticed that the LFP RGO for the cyclability, this was a really key thing. This is why I'm focusing on that, is that from the previous slide, we noticed that for the CV or cyclic voltammetry plots, the 20% had the sharpest peaks, the least amount of peaks separation, and therefore let us know that the chemical reactivity was more pronounced for that percentage of added reduced graphene oxide. And it even comes out in the cyclability. This is the bottom center plot. And if you look at the red line, which represents the 20%, it is maintaining quite a bit of its capacity as it goes from 0 to 200 cycles. So that helps us to better understand how well the electrical network is set up when we place the chemically reduced graphene oxide into the system. The others helped us to identify whether or not the conductive additive behaved well. And what we noticed is that the pristine, which had the 10% of just the carbon black in the system, it then further solidified that we have to keep carbon black at 10%. We can't play around with that number, and we have to maintain that percentage, and therefore we did. And in doing so, we see significant changes within the cyclability over 200 cycles. Next slide, please. So some conclusions we drew were that the chemically reduced graphene oxide improved the rate performance for higher C rates. So as we charge our batteries faster and faster, from 12 minutes to 6 minutes, we're maintaining a capacity, which is important, right? We want to be able to charge and charge our batteries at very, very high C rates, which means less and less time. We also noticed that chemically reduced graphene oxide improved the chemical reactivity that was outlined in the cyclic voltammetry plot, where we see the sharper peaks as well as the smaller peak separation. Adding 20% of chemically reduced graphene oxide significantly improved the conductivity of the composite. This was a very key piece of data, and then it shined through as it went beyond this characterization onto the galvanostatic test and battery tests that were done to help us better solidify the understanding of chemically reduced graphene oxide in the system. And lastly, adding 10% of chemically reduced graphene oxide significantly improved the discharge capacity. Next slide, please. So some of the future research is to measure the conductivity of LFP thermally reduced graphene oxide around 20%, and to do electrochemical testing so that there can be a direct comparison between the two types of RGO. Another important piece is to use electrochemical impedance spectroscopy to obtain impedance values for both pristine and modified composites. And lastly, thermally reduced graphene oxide films at different temperatures and measure the conductivity as well as the performance, electrochemical performance on those battery cells. Last slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for your really amazing lectures and the insight of reduced graphene oxide and how to improve the performance of the lithium iron phosphate. That's great. Yeah, you explain really. It's really a lecture. Yeah, one by one. So I do really enjoy your lectures. So before we come to I'm sure there are some questions from the audience and the panelists. But before that, we will continue to the next speaker. Thank again, Sarah. Okay, so just keep for the question and answer later on. So for the next speakers, I would like to invite Mrs. Miftahul Mardia. I think the nickname is Mrs. Mita. Yeah, you right there?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for your coming and for your not only coming. You want to share about the opportunity for the scholarship for Indonesian, yes, to go to US. As we have seen, the Howard University have already open the possibility for Indonesian to come there. Now you will provide who will be able to have the scholarship. So I will read first the CV of Mrs. Mita. She is currently the Associate Communication Officer of AMINEF. Yes, AMINEF is the American Indonesian Exchange Foundation. Yeah. Okay. Okay. She is also the member of grants for Indonesian team by Fulbright scholarships. Yeah. She joined the AMINEF since 2010. Oh, already 11 years. Okay. Okay, briefly, I want to introduce what is the AMINEF. So the AMINEF is the American Indonesian Exchange Foundation. Is the binational Fulbright Commission for Indonesia. The Fulbright Indonesia Research in Science and Technology, or FIRST program, and other U.S. government-funded program specifically address exchange in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for both Indonesian and American researchers, teachers, and scholars. Oh, okay. I still have so many questions. I want to invite maybe Sarah to come here and maybe the others, but no, time is yours to share with us. Thank you, Ms. Mita.
Thank you so much, Professor Evi Kartini, for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is a great honor for AMINEF to join this event held by National Battery Research Institute. And here we would like to inform you about the opportunity for Indonesians who would like to study in the US, particularly for master's degree and PhD. And for this purpose, I would like to give a brief introduction on what AMINEF is and also what the Fulbright program is through a YouTube video. And for that, I will share my screen and also show my YouTube screen. But at the same time, I will close my video to ensure that the internet connection is stable. Wait for a second. Yes, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes, perfect, Miss.
Okay, now I'm going to play the video of the Fulbright journey in Indonesia. Happy watching.
Part of the Fulbright program, the premier educational exchange program operated in over 150 countries worldwide, are the principles of international partnership and cooperation. For 65 years, the Fulbright program in Indonesia has supported more than 3,000 Indonesians and 1,200 Americans to study, do research, or teach in a variety of disciplines in our two countries. The partnership between Indonesia and the U.S. has been strengthened by AMINEF, the binational Fulbright Commission that has managed the program here for 25 years. This partnership continues to empower talented minds in both countries to experience new environments, contribute to their fields or professions, and inspire those around them.
I think the most memorable experience from studying in the US the opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different cultures. Because when I started to learn about others, at the same time, I also learn about myself, about my weaknesses, about my strength, how I learn from others, how I share my experience with others, which I might not ever get in other places.
It was a once in a lifetime experience, and I felt privileged every day that I had a Fulbright. For 2 years, I could study almost anything.
To go that far. And going to the US was something extraordinarily fantastic. My Fulbright scholarship at Columbia did not only change, but basically dictated my life, the course of my life.
Over the last 65 years, Indonesian and American Fulbrighters have made important contributions in many fields: art, science, economics, English language teaching, and various branches of humanities and social sciences. In a bigger picture, Fulbright has an immense impact on the mutual understanding among Indonesians and Americans. Fulbrighters have gone on to become prominent figures in their respective fields and communities.
Opportunity to become a role model in the field of work that I choose to do. For example, as a journalist, I did a lot of coverages for the sake of the public, like exposing corruption. And then one Fulbrighter whose work I admire the most is Azumar Ezra. He builds up peace in the society, especially in the interreligious work.
I brought improvement by transforming.
The video is not shown, only the sound.
Okay. Let me try again from the current video where it stops. Okay, what about now? Is it on again?
Yes, can you go a little bit before, just when start with the
religious work.
I brought improvement by
when the first interview, when start the interview.
From their respective fields and communities.
An opportunity to become a role model in the field of work that I choose to do. For example, as a journalist, I did a lot of coverages for the sake of the public, like exposing corruption. And then one Fulbrighter whose work I admire the most is Azumar Ezra. He builds up peace in the society, especially in the interreligious work.
I brought improvement by transforming the Institute of Islamic Studies into full-fledged university, because I believe young Muslims should be widened, the intellectual horizon should be widened. And I said, you can study, you can learn from any sources of knowledge, including US. Yeah.
I immediately felt home in Canary, and then that's something that I want people to feel when they come to America or when they visit my home. It's welcome and comfortable and safe. To be a Fulbrighter is to be a citizen diplomat. And that means not only sharing my own culture coming from America and my own experiences, but even more than that, being a listener and a taker of all the culture that's around me in Indonesia.
The Fulbright program continues to inspire the next generation of leaders in the communities which they serve.
I think Fulbright is different from other scholarships in that I think it's the most prestigious and most competitive scholarship program in the world. And I think the other thing that sets it aside is the expectation that we all are going to contribute to each other's societies.
Fulbright is unique because this is the legacy of Senator Fulbright. It's about public service. So if I'm a Fulbrighter and I don't do public service, I do not represent the mission of Senator Fulbright. Let's say then I went back from the US, I started to teach. Actually, like I was confused at that time if I really wanted to teach at the university or in another place. At the first day I returned to the university, my student came to me, please don't go again. And for me, to touch one's life, you cannot measure. This is like to touch the whole country. And for me, even if I have impact only to one student, that's enough as long as he become, a better person than myself.
Through the Fulbright experience, we contribute to the development of both Indonesia and the US and inspire future generations of both nations.
Wow.
That's a video of the Fulbright journey in Indonesia. The video was made in 2017 when Aminef had our 25th birthday in Indonesia. So now we are going to continue with the presentation on the Fulbright programs in Indonesia and how you can join us and be one of the Fulbrighters from Indonesia. And for this, I'm going to share my screen again to show my PowerPoint. Okay. I hope this is already up. Correct? Yeah, let me start the slideshow.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, so let's start the PowerPoint. And today we are going to specifically talk about Fulbright Master's Degree and Fulbright PhD Scholarship. So the Fulbright program in Indonesia was introduced in 1952, and currently we have 3,000 Indonesian alumni. 80% of them pursued master's and PhD, and the rest, 20%, are fellowship recipients who undertake various non-degree programs. And the first Fulbrighter from Indonesia will be Mr. Hasan Shadili, who authored this legendary bilingual dictionary, Indonesia to English and English to Indonesia. He was our Fulbrighter in 1952, and he pursued master's degree in sociology at Cornell University. That's the time where he met with Mr. John Eccles, and they collaborated, and this is the legendary dictionary that we are using until now. Haji Agus Salim, prominent Muslim scholar, is also a Fulbrighter. He gave a lecture in Islam and Indonesia's nationalism at Cornell University as a Fulbrighter. There's also Rustandi Kartakusuma, who taught Indonesian literature at Yale University, and include Professor Dwi Korita Karnawati, who is the head of BMKG. And then there's also Professor Nasardin Umam, the Istiqlal Grand Imam. He's a Fulbright visiting scholar in religious studies. And also one of the Director Generals at Ministry of Education and Culture, Dr. Iwan Syahril, is also a Fulbrighter, alongside Professor Alimatul Kiptia, who is a member of Indonesian National Commission on Violence Against Women. And there are also some presidential special staff, Ayu Kartika Dewi and Dini Shanti Purwono. And there are also other names who are experts in their fields, such as in arts, in law, international relations, and science research. So what it means to be a Fulbrighter? Here are some alumni who gave us their impression on the Fulbright program. This is from Mateus Yumarnamto, who said that the exchange program under Fulbright is the best experience I have ever had, as I studied with excellent academic community. But here I learned how to become a member of international academia, and at the same time introduced my own culture backgrounds as a Javanese and Indonesian. And there is also Professor Melanie Budianta from Universitas Indonesia. She says that Fulbright changed my life. Mostly, I gained a solid foundation with which to develop my knowledge of literature and culture through the study of America in the 1980s and Anglo-American literature in the 1990s. Professor Melanie Budianta was a Fulbright PhD in 1988 in language and literature at Cornell University. There is also epidemiologist Dr. Panji Hadi Sumarto, who said that Fulbright opened the door to more opportunities. Being a Fulbright awardee leveraged my presence in the US and introduced me to many respected people in their field of expertise. A Fulbrighter experience is definitely one that I would recommend anyone to have. If you happen to think about applying, please do apply. Otherwise, please do think about it. Dr. Panji Hadi Sumarto was a Fulbright master's degree in 2007 in prevention studies at Harvard University. Now, let's move forward. Why you have to apply for the Fulbright program? Fulbright offers this information and also this information and also these specialties. The first one will be global network, because later in the US, you will meet not only Fulbrighters from Indonesia, but also Fulbrighters from 160 countries. And the next one will be assistance to apply for US university. This means you can apply for universities at any states in the US, as long as the university offered your field of studies and interests. And next, there will be pre-academic training that you will have before you start your master's degree or PhD study, and also academic and non-academic assistance during the study. And after the study, you can also apply for post-academic training and internship, and the Fulbright program will support you in the visa if you can get an opportunity for PAT or internship. And also, we will help you in applying for J visa for you and your family members. And last but not least, no age limit to apply for the Fulbright program. And for study in the US, we know that US offers so many specialties. For example, there are 4,000 plus universities that you can apply for, and one of them will be Howard University as the representative today. And then in the US, there are various fields of study and research offered. US also multicultural community and offer quality education. Plus, US have supportive campus system and facilities, and also international quality lecturers. Now, let's move forward to the Fulbright programs for Indonesia. Who can apply for the Fulbright scholarship? You must be an Indonesian citizen, that's for sure, and you will need to have outstanding academic record, proficiency in English, and also leadership qualities and experience in community service, and also commitment to your field of study. Also, you have the ability to realistically accomplish your study in the US. And then you have commitment to return to Indonesia, and you should be willing to work for at least 5 years before retirement on the completion of the Fulbright scholarship program. And what are the eligible fields of study to apply for the Fulbright scholarship? Fulbright grants may be used for study in most disciplines and fields, with the exception for field of study related with medicine, where students will be asked to interact with patients, or they will have to undertake clinical patient. What about the Fulbright master's degree scholarship? If you have a bachelor degree or S1 and you have minimum GPA 3 out of 4 and also minimum TOEFL ITP score of 550 or other equivalent score, you can apply for this scholarship program. Remember, there is no age limit to apply for the Fulbright program, as long as you are willing to work for at least 5 years before you are entering retirement age. And for Fulbright PhD or doctoral degree scholarship, you must have a master's degree or S2 from Indonesian university or university abroad, and you have a minimum GPA of 3 out of 4 and minimum ITP TOEFL score 575 or other equivalent score. So remember that these requirements are based on what most universities in the US will require. And for funding duration, for Fulbright Master's Degree Program, we will support you for maximum 2 years, while for PhD, it will be maximum for 3 years. And what about the components of the grants that you will receive? During the selection process in Indonesia, you will receive round-trip domestic flight ticket, accommodation, and meals allowance. This will be provided when you are going through every process in Indonesia. For example, you are invited for an interview. Before the pandemic, you will be required to come to our office or to other places that we already arranged, and you will attend an in-person interview. And for that, we will support you with these elements. Or later, before your departure to the US, you will need to go to the nearest US Consulate General to apply for J1 visa. Then these components will also be provided by MDF. That's nice, right? And also, when you are already in the US and undertaking your study there, we will give you these elements. We will provide you with tuition and fees, living and related costs, and also book allowance. We will also provide you with round-trip international flight and also accident and health insurance. Now, how to apply for the Fulbright scholarship? All you need to do is to provide us with this submission requirement, such as application form, including 2 essays, which is study objective and personal statement essays. You will also need to submit a copy of valid TOEFL score, and then 2 letters of recommendation from supervisor or lecturer. Please make sure that you are contacting those who really know who you are so that they can give you a real specific information and also recommendation on who you are and how is your commitment to your field of study. And then you will need to provide us the copy of academic transcript and diploma in original language and in English translation, as well as copy of valid identity document. It can be KTP or national ID or passport. And last but not least, curriculum vitae. And all of these documents should be in English, except national ID or KTP. You don't have to translate it in English, okay? And then, what about the deadline and timeline? To apply for the deadline will be on February 15 each year, which means you cannot apply for this year's scholarship because the deadline has already passed, right? But the good news is that you can always start ahead. You can apply, you can plan to apply for the 2021-2022 deadlines, and you can start preparing your documents from now, and also you can start applying for TOEFL score or learning about TOEFL so that you will be ready when you need to take the test. This is the timeline of the Fulbright Master's Degree and PhD scholarship. The application deadline will be on February 15. And then once you have submitted your application, it will be internally processed and selected. And those who are selected administratively will be interviewed for the next process, and the result or the announcement will be in April or May. And then to apply for university in the US, we will register you to this test, TOEFL, IBT, and GRE or GMAT in Jakarta or other cities which have test centers. And the scores from this test will be submitted to the university application process. And in this fourth process, you cannot only apply to one university, but 4 to 6 universities in the US, which means it is your job now to look for which universities that will perfectly match your field of study and interest. Remember, there are 4,000 plus universities in the US, and it is your job to decide or to find where your potential research advisor is, right? And then you can bring the university names to us, and then we can assess it based on your profile, whether or not you have good chance to be applied, to be submitted. Your documents will be submitted to that university. Otherwise, we will give you some alternative university names that we think will match your profile better. Once you agree with the selection and all that, we will move forward to the next step, which is applying for universities on your behalf. This means that you don't need to have letter of acceptance to apply for the Fulbright scholarship, right? Because we will take care of it for you. This is the specialty of the Fulbright scholarship. And then what we are going to do is to wait for the announcement. The announcement will usually be issued in 3 to 4 or maximum 6 months after we apply for the universities. And those who already get LOA in this process, in this fourth process, we will invite them to participate at a pre-departure orientation, which will be held either virtual or in person, depending on the current global pandemic. And then you will depart to the US in June, July, or August or September based on the academic calendar of the university. Okay, this is the reason why you see why the timeline is so long from February 15, but then you will depart to the US the next year in June through September. It's because we are helping you to apply for the university in the US. Okay, so it's your job now to decide which university that you would like to choose later. And more information and application form, you can always visit our website at www.aminef.or.id. This is our website overview, the homepage, and also this is the Fulbright Master's Degree page, and also Fulbright Doctoral Degree page. You are also encouraged to learn about the frequently asked question page because it will contain questions that we usually or generally receive from the prospective applicants. And for more update and announcement, you can always follow us on social media such as Facebook page, Aminef/Fulbright Indonesia, or Instagram @Fulbright Indonesia, or Twitter @Fulbright ID. Ask your questions now at this forum, but if you have questions later after this session ends, you can always call us at our office, or you can send us email to these email addresses that you can also find later in our website. Now, briefly about Aminef. Aminef has office in Jakarta. We are founded in 1992. We are the Binational Fulbright Commission for Indonesia, and governed by equal numbers of American and Indonesian citizens who serve as trustees, supervisors, and managers. And we are administering one of the biggest Fulbright programs in Asia Pacific. And our many programs for educational exchange have increased mutual understanding between the US and Indonesia. So this means that Indonesia, who receives scholarship that Adminef administer, will always go to the US. You will not study in Indonesia or anywhere else, but you will go studying to the US. While for the US Fulbrighters who would like to join or to come to Indonesia, they can also do research in Indonesia or teach in Indonesia or share their academic and professional expertise at local institutions in Indonesia. And these are the full scholarship schemes for Indonesians that we manage. Master's degree and PhD, which you heard just now. And we also have Fulbright visiting scholar, Fulbright US ASEAN, Fulbright FLTA, DAI, Hubert Humphrey, CCI program, and Global U-Grad. I will not talk about them all now because it will take another hour. But what you can do is to visit our website at www.aminef.or.id so that you can learn about each scholarship that we are administering to see which one will fit your profile perfectly. These are some names of American Fulbrighters who had been to Indonesia. Professor Bill Liddell from Ohio State University, Professor Janet Steele from Washington University, or Mr. James Castle, the board member of American Chamber of Commerce, or Professor Nancy Peluso from University of California, Berkeley. These American Fulbrighters all often share their expertise about Indonesia at many events in Indonesia, in the US, or in another country. So these are some examples of their events so far. New news about Fulbright. This year, 2021, we are celebrating the 75 years of the Fulbright programs in the world. There's a special website dedicated to celebrate these 75 years. You can look at the website here, fulbright75.org. And there will be many events under the theme Impact 75 Years of Global Action, Opportunity, and Connection. This is the overview of the website. This is the main page. Please feel free to sign up for newsletter or to know some stories about Fulbrighters from all over the world and how they are together to give impact to their community. Well, that's all from me. Thank you so much. We look forward to receiving your application form and then be a Fulbrighter to join our other 3,000 alumni. Next, I would like to give the floor back to Professor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mita. It was amazing. Is it possible for me to apply? Because you mentioned there is no age limit. well.
Yes, why not? For Professor Kartini, we have Fulbright visiting scholar. If you would like to apply for postdoctoral opportunity to the US.
Postdoctoral is to maybe for visiting professor for collaboration to Howard University, yes? Or yeah, that's kind of. Okay, but of course we give the opportunity for the millennial first, yeah? Thank you so much. That's really great. And then for NBRI also, we will have the mutual collaboration with Aminef, yeah? We'll discuss in detail. Okay, thank you again, Mrs. Mita. Thank you for a very interesting and exciting, not only a lecture, but video and also all the inspiring experience from all the Fulbrighters. Okay, so now we are coming to the next session is the question and answer, and it will be led by the panelists. So I would like to invite, yeah, Dr. Alfian. Yeah, Dr. Alfian. Okay, can you share the CV of Dr. Alfian? So, thank you for your time today, Dr. Alfian. Yes.
Welcome, Prof. Evi.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to collaborate with you, and it's nice to join with you here.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will. Yeah. Read your introduction first. Okay. So, Dr. Alfian Ferdiansah Masuda, PhD. He got the PhD from Microsystem Engineering, University of Freiburg, Germany, 2017. And then PhD, he got a scholarship awardee from Director General of Higher Education, Ministry of Research and Technology and Higher Education. And then the Master Engineering in Department of Metallurgy and Material, University of Indonesia. No, I think currently he's the lecturer at the same university,
yes. Lecturer.
right? Yeah, maybe a professor or assistant professor, or I don't know. Okay. And the other is he has several publications, I'm sure, many publications, but this is related to the green reduction of graphene oxide using a mixture of chocolate and coffee powder, has been published in AIP proceeding. And the other fabrication of titanium dioxide, reduced graphene oxide, nanocomposite. Yeah, you know why I invite you to be the panelist, because you know the topic that Mrs. Sarah discussed about. Okay, now time is yours. Please.
Okay.
You lead also the question and answer. I think so many from the audience. Okay, thank you.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang semuanya. Thank you for having me in this very useful seminar or workshop, something like this. And thank you for Mr. Sarah and also Professor Silvina and Mr. Mita. I think today we have one complete package meeting in Zoom, because we have representative from university, from Professor Silvina. We have a representative from the researcher, from the topic, from Mr. Sarah, and we have representative from the people who can help the student to study to USA, Miss Mita from IMNF, and also we have a representative from Prof. Evi that give us the brainstorming about the research. So that's one package. If you want to research a battery to USA, then the starting is from this meeting. Okay, and also I'm thankful, because I was invited. Mr. Chipta inviting me because he thought that I have some experience about graphene and something like this. Yes, my research experience in my PhD somehow related with the graphene, but we use the graphene or graphene oxide or reduced graphene oxide for solar cells application. But I think we have something in common in synthesize and so on. And can I give some fact or some idea to this meeting? I mean, some the update, Prof. Evi. Okay, so if we take time, maybe 5 minutes in the Scopus, because most of researcher in Indonesia still focused on the publication, and the Scopus was our choosing, I mean, to see the evaluation of our productivity. So if we put the keyword about the battery and we put the graphene, the result. If we put the battery in the keyword in the Scopus searching setting, and also we put the Indonesia as affiliations or country affiliation or researcher affiliation, we have 1,560 publication with the battery keyword.
Dr. Alfian, you can share. Yeah. If you have the something to share, it's okay.
Okay. I mean, I don't make a slide, but I make some notes, Prof. Evi. Okay. And if we put the graphene as a keyword in Scopus, we have some like 568. So 1/3. So we have a battery publication 1,500, and we have a graphene publications 500. And that's very 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 good news from Indonesia, for Indonesian researchers, from Indonesian students, because starting from 2012 we have some very big jump improvements, because as we know that graphene was invented in 2004, and we start to research graphene in 2010, but we have some like more than 10 publications in 2012. So it means we can make a simplifications. It takes like 6 or 8 years to transfer graphene from the Europe, for example, from the knowledge there to Indonesia, to our country. So it takes 6 years. And if we have many Zoom meeting or many seminar like this, we can expect that we will make some accelerations to transfer the knowledge about the graphene and also the idea about the graphene. That's from my opinion, from my side, some idea. And of course, I have some question, of course, for Professor Silvina, Prof. Evi, and also Mr. Sarah, but also have some question also from the participants. So, Prof. Evi, what do you think? Should I start with my question or my or participant question? But
please, you ask first. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I will ask. First from Professor Silvina. I mean, if I take some view from the publication of graphene and also from publication from the battery, so we still have a gap. So we only 500 from graphene and 1,500 from battery. So one of the something that we to address is the facility. For example, is there any possibility, I mean, for the researcher from Indonesia to take some characterization in Howard University, for example? Because, for example, if we do some like a graphene oxide, to this graphene oxide, we need some experiment that maybe in some institution we don't have a facility. If we want to some experiment, we should collaborate with another institution, but sometimes it takes time. So my idea is maybe it's better if we have some collaboration, of course, with the media, the bridgings, Prof. Evi from NBRI, so we can collaborate. I mean, the researchers from Indonesia goes to Howard University to take some characteristics. I think this scheme will accelerate the research for battery. That's for Professor Silvina. Maybe you can answer first, or I start to the next question. Okay, yeah. Professor Silvina, thank you.
Yes, I can. I'm not an experimentalist, but I can tell what we have in the university. You can work on characterization of graphene and other materials, because we have a new interdisciplinary research building that was finished, I think 5 years ago, and we have good facilities there. And we also have facilities that we can use in the School of Engineering that is just across the street from our department. And also in the area of Washington, we have other institutes where we can collaborate, and you can use the facilities in national institutes that there are many in the area. So yes, there are possibilities.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, that's very good news. I mean, for example, our researchers from universities in Indonesia, from ITB, from many universities can contact Prof. Evi, for example, and Prof. Evi will give the maybe some letters, so we can go together to your university, for example, like that. So we collaborate in that scheme. And and then Prof. Evi, you are as the moderator, but I have a question to you also.
Okay.
I think okay. I mean, because the NRBA is like some in the center of the platform. So I think maybe you already made some mapping like this. so we can some like mapping in university. We take some data from the Scopus or Web of Science, so we can map which university do this part, do this LFP, which university do this graphene, which university do something like this, so you can collaborate. Because if every university do all things, then we don't have a focus. We have to collaborate. For example, yeah, I mean, and with that mapping, we can know, we can evaluate ourselves how far our battery research from industry, for example, like this. I think if you have a team to make some mapping and then share the mapping to us, it's really very helpful for university. So, for example, our researchers from University of Indonesia, we still want to know to which part we have to focus, to graphene or to LFP or something like this. And because if we compete each other to do in same part, it's wasting time, it's wasting energy, it's wasting funding, for example. But if we collaborate, we we share the responsibility to join in one focus, one goal. It will be better for every. That's from my side.
Yes, that's good question. That is why the NBRI should be established. This is what make me worrying about the research in Indonesia. There are so many research, but small research. Yeah, and everywhere at redundant, and then does not give an impact. This is frankly to say like that. Yes, even the Minister of Research and Technology has already asked to NBRI to help for that. Okay, for that purpose, please map not only the facility but also the highlight of the research. Yes, but I think this is why we have to do the roadmap to come to the facility and ask. But NBRI is only we have currently only 5 staff. Yes, this is actually by appointed by the UK, but the NBRI is also have concern about this, and then we ask you, if you are the member, please welcome the member and please help NBRI. NBRI belong to us. This is the foundation for better future. Okay. Yes. So in that sense, that your question actually, this is really what we want to do is not only mapping but the human resources. Okay. How many who are doing what? We sometimes even if you come to ITB itself, there are so many, but we don't know where they are. Okay, we don't know what they are doing. Yeah, so NBRI is a platform, so we have to get together to map, and so finally we know the cluster. Oh, there's some people doing the cluster of the for example the NMC, the other doing the graphene, and afterward it will be a big a focus, and not only focus, so we can apply a big grant for that. Yeah, so complementary to each other. Yeah, not competing to each other, but complementary to each other. Yeah. Okay. This is the a great idea. So I since you are here, so we ask also your help, your assistant, please. Take care of NBRI together. Okay. NBRI not belong to me. This is belong to us. Okay. This is the foundation. And the other thing, maybe I should answer. So we will do that. And the other, I think about your previous question to Mr. Silvina. So I think we will do the MOU with the Howard University. Yes. And then from there we can have the NBRI as the hub. Okay. Yeah. If somebody maybe will go to visit or to do the research or collaboration, I think it is So this is I'm sure Mrs. Silvina will agree for that. So we will continue about the MOU later on. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof, for the answer. Yes, that's really good. I mean, for example, we can choose to ask the IMINF to help us. I mean, how to process for visiting scholar and other. We also can make some scheme like we apply for the funding from our government or from the Ministry of Education or from Ministry of Research, and we put some scheme that we want to make some characterization in other university in USA in Howard University, something like it. It can be taken something like this, and then. Okay, the questions. It's nice to me. I mean, the first question, the first time to hear. I mean, to see the presentation from the AMINEF, because many of my colleagues has a question. I mean, how to start, how to think, how to process the application for the AMINEF, and they are fear about the GRA, something like this. So my questions from the for Miss Mita, because in the first 6 or 5 slides, we are shown that you can take TOEFL or IELTS or something like this. But in the last slide, we have some like a GRA. And my question is GRA is complementary, or just we also that's mandatory to give the GRA score?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question, right? So to apply for the Fulbright scholarship, at the first stage of applying, you don't need to provide us with GRE score. You can only you can simply submit TOEFL ITP, for example. But then at the same time, we also encourage you to prepare yourself for the GRE test, because the GRE test is mandatory once you are selected a Fulbright candidate. When we apply for universities in the US for you, we also need to consider the most part will be how well you will fit into the university, how well your profile will fit into that university. So it's not merely about whether the university will ask for GRE score or not, right? So for that reason, we will ask all Fulbright applicants to prepare for GRE to start studying, because it is challenging not only for us Indonesians but also for Americans.
Yes.
So yeah, please do start to study so that you will be ready when we are registering for GRE test for you. Don't worry about the test because it will be free. We will provide you with the test registration. All you have to do is to attend the test. So that's how it is. We know that some universities, just like Dr. Silvina mentioned, that Howard University give exemption for this year because of the pandemic, so that students who want to apply for the university don't have to submit their GRE score. But if you would like to apply for Howard University, they'll be fine. But remember, you will apply for 4 to 6 different universities. And for example, 2 of them need GRE, 2 of them don't need GRE. It means you still need to take GRE, right? That is why.
Okay. The good news is I think we have 1 year to prepare, because the deadline already passed 15 February, and then we still have 1 year to prepare this GRE. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Mita. Okay, now the questions. I think I will have some 3 questions from the participants about the topic, Mr. Sarah Zab, and also I have a question from the Graphene. But I think my question is similar with the participant question. Okay, for the Mr. Sarah, I have some comment. I mean, it's really nice to have the presentation from Mr. Sarah, because the researcher from Indonesia already know that in which form of the nano carbon we should focus on the battery. For example, the researchers from Indonesia still doesn't have a clue. I mean, do we use a graphene oxide, or reduce graphene oxide, or graphene, something like this? But of course, we don't have a resource to have a pure graphene, and normally in Indonesia we have some chemical route, some chemical method to produce the reduced graphene oxide. Of course, in the first stage we have a graphene oxide, and then we reduce graphene oxide. And thermal, and the second is it also nice, and the researcher from Indonesia know that after we focus and we decide to use the reduced graphene oxide, and the second question, of course, should we reduce by thermally or should we reduce by chemically? And the presentation from Mr. Sarah give us the answer, then give us the idea that chemically reduced graphene oxide give the better performance for the battery itself. And this is the two information that's very, very important for the researchers for Indonesia that want to utilize the graphene into battery. That's very nice, very, very useful information from Mr. Sarah. That's I think 30 minutes, but it's give us for maybe one monthly study literature. Okay, Mr. Sarah, and then I think I will read some questions from the participant. Okay. Okay, moment. Okay. So there is a question from Mr. Ahmad Subhan about the LFP synthesis. Mr. Sarah,
Yes,
perhaps
hi.
you can answer. Yes. Okay. So
May
the
you
question
repeat
is
the question?
how. Okay, the question is how do you synthesize the LFP, for example, because one of our colleague asked about the LFP synthesis.
So for the research that was outlined, the LFP was not synthesized. It was purchased from a company called MTI. The main reason for that was because the availability of LFP is vast. It's not as if you have to do a lot of to put it together. I would say that would be a necessity if you're trying to do like a sol gel method or some method to put the additive directly into the LFP powder or the synthesis thereof. So it just depends on your framework. So are you trying to manipulate the active material, or you're trying to improve it in some way, but you want to do it more on a chemical level, where you're looking directly at synthesizing the LFP powder.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sarah. And then there's a question from the Mr. Raihan. I want to ask Dr. Sarah about the adding of the additive material of RGO. It is shown that we just add 20% of RGO, then we have a more performance like conductivity. And the question is, what if we give more RGO, more than 20%? What's the effect from the what's the effect that we will have in the battery?
Well, it depends on where. So I did see that question. So for example, if we were looking at dealing with directly treating RGO as the conductive additive, just solely as a conductive additive, removing carbon black out of the system and using RGO, it does not perform well. If we just put in RGO as the sole conductive additive. If we do that, then we notice that the behavior of the battery didn't even give us the signature discharge curve, which is a problem now. So to the question, now you're talking about a graphene battery. If you're just gonna just have 100% graphene in the system, we're talking about a graphene battery. They exist. I did a little bit of research on that, on graphene batteries, more of a article research and journal research. They exist. They do perform well depending on the type of graphene or the synthesizing of the graphene. But in this case, we want to keep the value of the active material above 50%. And that's due to the fact that we want to obtain as much lithium ions in the system. So if you pull out and say, okay, I want to do a full cell battery, we want to get 100% of those lithium ions out of that material. If that system is bombarded by 2D material like graphene, that now becomes an issue in terms of percolation. So now if we have all of these 2D flakes within the composite, that is now a hindrance for the movement of the lithium ions.
So we have to, which I mentioned to the person who asked the question, you have to figure out what percentage will give you the best outcome in terms of capacity as well as rate performance, if that's what you're looking at. But if you reach a point where it can't move, then it's a problem. The lithium ions.
Okay, Dr. Sarah. So I can imagine that what we should do with the graphene in battery is we make some experiment to have optimum values, the optimum ratio, the optimum degree of reduce, right? For example, if we the question maybe the question similar that your conclusion, the future research of the graphene, for example, if we reduce the graphene offset, and there is a question how long the reduce take place, and with any chemical, which chemical we use, because perhaps different chemical will give different effect in reduce of graphene. For example, similar happen with the solar cell. If we use very high strong of reduce, and the effect like this, and if we medium reduce, the effect will be different. I think it will open the possibility to researchers, to explore, to investigate the optimum reduce and then apply to the battery. That's I think that's something that we can take from your conclusions. And okay, next question is okay. From Ahmad Lutfi Putrayogi to Dr. Sarah. I am interested in new battery technology. I want to ask Dr. Sarah, you explained before that the price of LFP is expensive, so you have to use it less to reduce the experiment cost. But the price of RGO itself, is it cheaper or also expensive? Please,
Yeah, I
Dr.
saw
Sarah.
that question. My battery group and I used to talk about that all the time. It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off all around. If you're talking about the materials, if you're talking about looking at the rate performance as opposed to charging time, and as well as as capacity, what is most important? So now we're talking about application. So you want to now identify within your system where what do you want out of the system? Do you want the system to produce at faster rates? Do you want it to, have a larger capacity? So when we start to address these particular questions, then we can identify within the system where we want to go. In the case of the use of RGO, graphene's expensive. The process for reducing it, not so much. I mean, when it comes to reduction of graphene oxide, is not as expensive, but to do it yourself, but to, of course, outsource, yes, it's going to be expensive. So there's a trade-off. It depends on exactly what you want and whether or not you're willing to do the work to reduce it yourself. And there's many different methods. There's many different chemicals that you can use, and many journal articles that outline the fact that if you use certain reductive agents, they can somehow not even give you the graphene you want. So there's so many variables associated with it.
Yes.
But it's a trade-off either way. If you work in batteries, you know this, when it comes to materials and the system itself.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sarah. I hope that answer it's enough. I mean, for the participant. And now I still have open 5 questions, and it's this. And that's the participant have many questions, and now we have to back to Miss Mita and also to Prof. Evi Kartini, because they still have question about the possibility to collaborate with the NBRI and also the IMNF. So first. Okay.
Okay.
The first question is for the NBRI.
Right.
Okay. Professor Silvina has to leave, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
thank you, Professor Silvina.
Yeah. Before that, Prof. Silvina, maybe we should take a picture together. Yes. I know there are so many questions. Well, question either to you, to Mrs. Sarah, and also to Miss Mita.
Yes.
So all this question are actually, if we read one by one, so I have almost 20 questions actually.
Oh no.
So maybe we are running out of time, but I know, so it means
Yeah.
that this is important. We can make the second chance, okay, another special session. But before that, maybe just going back, Mr. Alfian, thank you. So we discussion of on the of graphene and other so many things. Thank you for the time, Mr. Alfian.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe
Okay.
we want to give the appreciation to the speakers now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. First. Okay. Okay. So they're all. So if we continue, that's maybe we'll finish maybe even late afternoon. So now we start to the give the appreciation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even we still have 5 questions for
Yeah.
you and for Aminef and for Dr. Sarah.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe after the appreciation. For yeah.
Okay.
We can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Now we take a picture with Professor Silvina. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So before that, on behalf of the NBRI, we would like to give the appreciation to all the speakers and panelists today. Okay, Sinta, can you share? Okay. So this is the certificate of for NBRI and collaboration with the AMINEF to Mrs. Sarah Zab, PhD, for inspiring lecture on graphene. Thank you. Yes. So this is one of the co-founder. Yes, I'm the founder of NBRI, and our co-founder is Professor Alan. And the next will be for next. Professor Silvina, yes, thank you for your sharing information about Howard University. Yes, yeah, for the next we'll have the collaboration. Okay, thank you again. The next appreciation to Mrs. Mita Miftahul Madia from AMINEF. I hope that we can do the collaboration in the future. Yes. Yeah, so many come to the collaboration, to research, and also study in US through this Fulbright scholarship. And the next, we'll give the Mr. Firmansyah for introduction. Thank you. Yes, and also yes, we'll give the appreciation to Mr. Alfian as the panelist of this session. So now that we have take the pictures for all the participants, yes, all the speakers. Okay, Sinta, can you, yeah, for
Okay.
all? Yeah.
Okay, it's already old. So now we're gonna take a pictures in 3, 2, 1. One more in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again. There's, I think it's just the long day for 2 days. Well, thank you, Mrs. Silvina. Thank you for your join. I know, no, it's the late evening. I think yes, almost 12:30. Right, it's time for you to have that.
Thank you for inviting me. It was great having this meeting with you.
Yes, thank you so much for your joining with us. Yeah, I hope we can. Yeah, we'll continue. I mean, we'll have a contact with you. Thank you. So I know you will have something, and so the other Mrs. Sarah, will you still be there? And Mrs. Mita, can you answer? Maybe I give one question to Mrs. Mita and also Mrs. Sarah. Okay. Okay, please continue. Only one question to each. Okay, otherwise it's maybe 10 questions more. Okay.
Okay, there is a question from the participants for Miss Mita. Is it possible, Simon, to pursue the PhD degree directly from the somebody only get one from the participant if they only have a bachelor degree? So he doesn't want to do the master, so just jump from S1 to S3 from the bachelor to the PhD, because maybe some countries in all time I think it's possible, like in Japan or in German. But and the question is it possible in Fulbright scheme that if he has only he bachelor and then want to directly straight forward to the PhD? Okay, Ms. Nina.
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. It is an interesting question, and I know that some Indonesians are really eager to get their PhD from bachelor degree, which is actually possible. However,
okay,
Fulbright scholarship only fund the master's degree part of it. So, for example,
okay,
you are planning to apply for PhD, but then we cannot provide funding for that. What you can do is that you can still apply for the scholarship or the master's degree program. But then, if, for example, later you would like to continue to PhD, that will be fine. But you need to secure your own funding for that. We have quite a lot of Fulbright master's degree scholarship recipients actually who pursue master's degree and then decide to continue straight away for their PhD, but they will have to secure their own funding because they cannot apply for 5-year funding to pursue master's degree and PhD. So it is not possible to apply. Okay, hopefully it's
okay. Yeah, so we give the advice for this participant just to apply for the master student first. And then, yes, okay. And then the question next is I think for Prof. Evi from the NBRI side. So there is two questions. I think one question. So there's a participant have some idea. For example, for the battery. Here he said that vanadium redox battery. So it said that she or he doesn't get much information about this material. So is it possible, as meant to NBRI, to make some advice or some make some conversation or for consultation about the material about the battery?
Okay.
And of course, and the question is what the participant should do if they want to make some thesis under the NBRI supervision.
Okay, so that's for me it's easy to answer. If the vanadium redox battery is a new, the future battery, okay, like solid state battery. So I will find the best lectures to give the lectures on that topic. Okay, so that is the one question. Yeah, because it should be an expert to explain that. Yeah, and actually we have also collaboration with one of the company in Singapore that they use the vanadium redox battery in their using the solar panel for the battery for the energy storage. So we can so it will become the coming lecture for NBRI. But of course, nonetheless, that NBRI also nice to have discussion with all of you. Yeah, please, we can, of course, we can assist whatever we can do for the student who want to do the internship in NBRI. Yes,
internship. Yes.
Internship. Yes, that's currently also there are several. They work. Fresh graduate and also the student doing the PKL also, yeah. But of course, one thing that since NBRI also the not only Indonesian, this is international. So well, we have to do some interview, and of course the English
selection,
one of the requirement. Yes, yeah. Okay, that's no problem. Okay, this is the there will be a possibility.
So the answer for this participant, just stay connected to the NBRI and stay wait for the redox for vanadium redox, and then just go to the website or maybe social of NBRI, and then we'll get in touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I still, Prof. Evi, I still have one question. I think this is the last question. I think
Okay.
for Miss for Dr. Sarah. Dr. Sarah. So there's a question from Jesslyn Lawrence. Yeah. Hello, Dr. Sarah. Have you or your friend ever tried to do the same methods to use the graphene, but into another types of lithium battery? If the answer yes, how did it go? Okay.
Well, within the battery group, we've used several different types of, so we use like graphene nanofibers. We've used graphene nanoplatelets. These were all under the active material lithium iron phosphate, but we do have another, well, I'm no longer in the group. I graduated, so they're still working hard on NMC. So there's another individual in the group that's doing NMC, and he's incorporated graphene nanofibers. Now this is strictly for a full cell in the anode.
A fuel cell.
Okay, in the anode.
Okay.
So some very interesting results in that. So I mean, but I'm not sure if they're going beyond NMC. We just put out a chapter in a book, so we, outlined a lot in terms of the work that we've done, and hopefully, we'll be able to, collaborate more with others to do more within the field. But I know that there was questions about like sodium iron phosphate. So there's many different types of phosphate group materials that you can use that would aid you in producing either sodium ion or aluminum ion. I mean, so many interesting things happening in batteries. But within the group at Howard, NMC is the other active material that has been used, where graphene nanofibers were used. So that was really interesting work.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sarah. Okay, Prof. Evi, I think this is enough from our side, from our participant, and also from my side.
Okay.
So I will give the chance to you.
Thank you, Dr. Alfian, for really interactive, discussion with all the speakers and audience. Thank you again. Yes, I hope. Yeah.
Welcome.
Once my question to you is, please be the member of the NBRI and help us to make this dream to map all the as you mentioned the
battery research. Yes,
the
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Okay.
My pleasure, Prof. Evi. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe I have the last that we hope that not only the KPI of the NBRI is the collaboration. So, so with this, I would like to ask also Mrs. Mita from the AMINEF. Yeah, I think this is only a beginning of the collaboration. Yes. So I hope that we can come and discuss more about the collaboration with NBRI. That's many Indonesian, not only for well, not everybody I know the chance to get the scholarship is only rarely. Okay. One among 100 probably, yeah. But well, we should also still provide them like the lectures, okay? Maybe we invite the international lectures. I mean, from some other university, from state, but maybe also providing the maybe training or education with us, okay? Yeah, I mean, so I hope that the AMINEF can support the NBRI, yes. In terms of the skill development for the young, brilliant millennial, yes, Indonesian. Yeah, I think, yeah. So
yes, we look forward to more information on the possible future collaboration with NBRI.
Yes.
And also we have a dream. We have a dream that there will be a university, as you mentioned, yes. That will be become the leading in the focus area about the climate change and battery and transportation. I think should be international, yeah, should be supported by not only by UK, by USA, by others, but Germany, and I think this is what I hope that in the future. Okay, that thanks again to your time here. Okay, finally I should close. I don't want to close, but finally I have to close. All the question that has not been answered will be answered directly or will be posted in our website. I will ask my team to do this. Again, okay, finally, I would like to thank to all the speakers today, Dr. Zara, Dr. Sarah, Dr. Zilvina, Mr. Muhammad Firmansyah, Mrs. Mita, and also the panelists, Dr. Alfian. And also, I would like to thank the committee. This is I have a great member. I mean, team. Sinta, the secretary of NBRI. Also, she does the international relation. She's doing very well on this. And then Cipta Nugroho, it is the PIC of this meeting. Thank you, great job. Yes, you can contact Mrs. Mita to come and others, and also Rizka, who does this behind the screen, and also Andika, who also help us. Okay, once on behalf of the NBRI, thank you again to all the participants who already attended for this lecture today. Please don't forget to become the member of NBRI, open our website, and then wait for another lecture or FGD. We have the focus group discussion and then the current situation, and also what is the government regulation, and also many actually the team, we have the many questions to raise some, meeting like this. Okay, once again, for all of you, thank you, and then I hope to join the NBRI and wait for the next event. Thank you again. So I will give you to Sinta.
Okay, thank you so much for Prof. Evi for such an amazing moderator, and thank you so much for all the speakers, Dr. Saraza, Professor Silvina, and also Mrs. Mita, and also Mr. Muhammad Firmansyah, and also for our amazing panelists, Dr. Alfian and another team. So before we close, I would like to show you how to become a member of the NBRI. So it may take only maybe maximum 5 to 10 minutes to become our member. So first of all, you go to the n-bri.org, and then you go into the login or register, and you will see this platform. And then if you're already a member, then you can write down your email and also a password. And if you are not a member yet, please do register yourself by clicking this item. And then you can choose the membership type. If you are individual, then please choose individual. For example, I would like to register myself, then I will click individual. And as I am Indonesian, then I will click Indonesia. And for the occupations, if you're a student, so NBRI is not only limited for a researcher or for a scientist, but it's also for student or young scientists or even private. Private means people who works in a company or industry. And then so you can choose student. And for the membership plan, you can just pick basic membership. And then you have to fill all of information, for example, an email, username, password, first name, last name, and so on. And then just click register. So it may take only 5 to 10 minutes, and then you will get all the benefit. As Mr. Muhammad Firmansyah mentioned below, that we have also news and event, opportunities, education and skill, and also NBRI One Map. We are also open for the collaborations, as we mentioned before. So please do register yourself, and see you on another event. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.